And just like that, we're actually live. So, ladies and gentlemen, ladies, you're the only ones here right now. People are going to be jumping in live. It's really good to meet you. I've got Lynn Wise and Danielle Bartus from Contractor In Charge out of Tampa, Florida, on our live stream tonight. And the purpose of our huge live is to give everybody the opportunity to get to know you so they can come and see you at the huge convention when you're teaching a breakout session. So thank you for being on. Thanks very much.
Thank you for having us.
You're welcome. So you guys are in Tampa, is it correct?
Well,
sort of.
That's a fun story.
We're a virtual company.
Okay.
Have been from day one. We were virtual when it wasn't cool.
Before it was cool?
Yeah, before it was cool. You know, like when country wasn't cool.
Yeah.
So it's a Florida company. I actually spend my winters in the Tampa area, but I spend my summers in Michigan. So,
okay.
And we have employees all over the country. So that's our story.
Okay, good. Well, all right, I'll do you individually, but Lynn, you have a really deep background in the trades and in operations and understanding how things work. And if I understand correctly, you greenfielded and built, grew, and exited 5 different companies. Is that accurate?
May have lost one in that count. May have been 6, but we'll go with 5.
You go 5, 6, 10. Who's counting after a while?
Yeah, I'm a serial entrepreneur, but my first love was the trades. I graduated from high school. I was hired to become a dispatcher in a plumbing, heating, and remodeling company. And after 15 years, I became an owner and a general manager. I left it before I was really ready to leave it.
Mm-hmm.
But I went to the corporate America track and worked for Ameritech. Spent almost 8 years in Yellow Pages. Don't laugh. And it's still relevant, believe it or not. It's the backbone of everything we do. And then I spent nearly 12 years at IBM. And after that stint, I decided that I wanted to come back to what I originally was in love with, and started looking at the business case. And here we are.
Okay.
We've been around now 10 years.
So, and you started Contractor In Charge in 2016, but going all the way back to your early days with the HVAC company, and I don't have a sense of like how bootstrappy was it, or was it pretty well run and systematized? Did you grow with it?
The HVAC company?
Yeah.
Oh, we took it from a little storefront to a large showroom and 14 trucks. Yes, in 15 years.
Okay.
So we had a retail operation in a showroom. We had a repair bench. And then we had we had really 2 trades, but one trade was remodeling. And still they have a name in the area that I started at, but it was a very well-known company for that area.
Yeah. How did your time going from, I don't want to say mom and pop, but maybe it was a small business, going from that to corporate and then coming back into the trades, like what did you learn in corporate that was an aha or a big help when you came back into small business?
Well, I learned that you need to leave things to innovate. So when I left, I really learned how to sell. I learned how to market. And I also learned during my stint how big companies do something that some of us avoid, and that is outsource. Big companies are masters at figuring out efficiencies and deciding when to outsource versus insort functions, whether it's a system or whether it's a process or whether it's a person. They're great at it. And they do it typically because they need a greater efficiency, and they need, and that efficiency, of course, leads itself to lower cost of operation. So, but I thought, if the big boys do it, why can't the little guys? So that was kind of the basis of it. And I bought a table at Comfort Tech in 2015. And I thought, okay, here we go. If we do, we do. If we don't, we don't.
Yeah.
Worst I could be is $5,000 less in my bank account. And it just took off. We picked up 6 clients from that original engagement. Thankfully, they were willing to take a risk on me. I was lucky enough to be able to share that partnership with them. And I still have, I don't know, I think 3 or 4 of the original. So it's been a long relationship. And I always tell everybody that what I learned in a very short period of time is that the good news is nothing changed. The bad news is nothing changed. So the only thing that really changed, and honestly, I had this idea back in the late 80s and early 90s to centralize operations, but it would have been, of course, then PCs and 10 keys and typewriters and phones. And
yeah.
But when 2015 rolled around, we had this little known thing called internet, and things were going cloud-based. And I had just spent nearly 12 years in the technology space, and I was pretty savvy at that point on technology, and still am. But it encouraged me to think that we could do this and do it virtually. And I had a lot of people question it. I had employees question it. Number one, Danielle Bartus questioned it.
I did, in fact, think that it was a scam, and that's not a lie.
All right. So I'm going to pull up one comment, and then my next question is for you, Danielle. So I just got to say hi to our friend Craig Hensel. He was on our last live stream. It's funny, we talked about Yellow Pages on a live stream right before this as well.
Oh, how interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
The marketer that was on Victor Hubbard, who's going to also speak, he got his start right out of college working for Yellow Book, and his teeth on sales and marketing that way. But Craig, good to see you. Enjoy your dinner, and you can catch the replay a little bit later on. So Danielle, my question for you is this. So you've, with Contractor In Charge, you've onboarded over 100 different contractors. Sound right? So could you give us the help everybody understand what Contractor In Charge is and what you do? Like, what's the problem you solve, and what do you guys actually do? What's your core?
So that is honestly a loaded question. There are a couple of sides to our business. So we have an accounting and bookkeeping service side that does full CFO services. So we can solve your books and your money problems. We have a call center side that handles inbound live calls with live humans. We have a digital management platform that handles all of your digital leads, inbound and outbound. And then we also have a consulting side that handles software consultations. They do business consultations, and also help set up things like Service Titan, SimPro, stuff like that. So we have 4 different sides to our business in total. But the overall problem to solve is it's all of the back stuff that people either A, don't know how to do, or B, don't want to do, so they can get back to doing what they love.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's just pick one to talk about.
Okay.
Like you said, you got live call centers, and then you have digital lead management. And I was, when I was doing my homework, I just caught a blurb, and it was referencing to a podcast interview you did, Lynn. You're talking about this. You didn't say it like this, but you're talking about speed to lead. So is that primarily what you're handling with digital leads? It's like helping people make sure they don't.
Yeah. So
what do you do?
Yeah. What it is it is an AI-enabled CRM platform. So just a quick backstory on why it's a thing. So one of the biggest gaps in the industry is that everyone uses field management softwares and not customer relationship management softwares. So they're all looking at leads from the point of a job being booked, not the original intent of looking for your service. Okay. So we have an AI-based CRM platform that engages through text, chat, your web scheduler, AI voice, and then it's backed 100% by human agents in case the customer needs to speak with a human or AI is not able to help them. But it enables 100% speed to lead, an immediate response from any of the channels that you're using, and gets that immediate connection with the customer, which in most cases will save your business the lead versus you losing it to a competitor that can respond faster.
So do you have some stats behind it, or what's your experience in the industry where whoever calls the lead back first or engages with them first, what percentage of the time did they actually get the job? Whether or not they're the best company or not, they're just the fastest.
So just a good example of kind of the reverse of that. This week alone, we were doing an analysis on a company. They had over 354 leads that came in through their website. Of the 354, 215 were dismissed, and the average time from taken to dismissal is 30 hours because they were not able to follow up with them fast enough. And honestly, one of the things in the industry that we all know is everyone has a great process until that process breaks. And when you're thinking of things that a CSR or someone that handles these things would do, answering the phone is non-negotiable because the phone rings, it's in your face, you have to take it.
Yeah.
But if you are on the phone, you can't monitor your inbox, you can't monitor a chat on the side, you can't monitor a web scheduler fail. And so really it's like even the best processes only work until something fails. And one of the things that people don't know how to identify right now well is where is it failing and how can I fix it? We had one client that put the AI web scheduler, just the web scheduler to start off with on their website. They have a 68% conversion rate because it's immediately booking the appointment. It's a 4-step process. It's super simple. And it's meant to get the customer scheduled and stop losing them with these crazy processes that these companies have made.
Yeah. Yeah. So what kind of pushback, or do you get pushback from contractors going, well, I don't want AI answering my phone or doing
Yeah,
things.
absolutely.
They need a person. But what's the reality? How, like you just said, 68% conversion booking rate. That's tremendous.
The reality is the ways that you're using AI is what really matters, right? So I think as a person, you can probably admit to this too. It's much more comfortable to use AI in a digital format. It's easier to chat with something on a website knowing that it's AI and that you're going to potentially get an answer, but you have an out if you need it, right? You can always ask for a human. Yeah. Or using a web scheduler, you're pretty aware it's AI. Where consumers seem to have had the biggest transitional issue is with voice AI, because even if it's the best AI in the world, customers don't necessarily want to engage with AI via voice. And so what we did is we always want to give the option. You want to be forefront with the AI, but then also always give that choice of speaking with the human if it's needed and engaging with the human when the customer wants to, versus forcing them into an option that they may not want to select. We have had a very good run of voice AI, and we've done a whole lot of tests, and we have found that our assumptions are correct. You have to have the ability to transfer to a person. There's a big wave of it in the industry now. It started, honestly, last October is when people started to really heavily adapt this AI voice concept. And again, it works until the customer gets frustrated and disconnects, and there's just not a lot of good data on it yet. Yeah. So having that safety net of no worries, someone's there to take care of you if you don't want to deal with it. It makes it easier for the business owners and the consumers to handle it and digest it and choose to use it or choose to not, but know that they always have that option, so they're not just taking up and calling the next person.
Yeah, for sure. And I know, a lot of small business owners like myself, like we try to pretend that we want it to be perfect and we want a great result with every single person. And this winter, we have a window cleaning company in Montana, and we got 10 employees. It's pretty small, but we took time to implement voice AI through Jabber, through our CRM. And,
how cool. Okay.
And just test it. And we got, because in our busy seasons, we've always had a call center that will handle our overflow calls. So we're getting they're getting a live response. And the results with the AI voice were like, I hate to say it, but it's almost as good as our call center as far as getting the contacts moved to the next step and people being happy. We had a couple of customers, and thankfully I know a lot of them. A couple of them called me and like, why'd you make me talk to a robot, Sid? I'm like, I know, we're just testing it out. And I said, but did it work? And they're like, yeah, it worked. But
I think that's what you really have to do is I think if you have a comfortable customer base, people know who you are. I also think it's instead of trying to make it sound so human that you're tricking people, just be honest and open about it so they don't feel duped at the end of it, right? And so I think there needs to be a thought process of announcing that you're using AI, say it on the front end before they ever even connect with it and say, hey, we're trying it out, use it if you want to. If you don't press to, we can go to person. One of the things I think that makes it difficult being in both sides of that space, being in the AI space as well as the live human space, is what we learned with the whole transition over to trying AI and then deciding that we were going to keep them separate on purpose there is a lot of expectations for answering services and call centers. And a lot of times, often, it's unrealistic expectations. And the thing about AI that we have found the biggest gap with is the data for what's actually being completed and being successful. I would love to see jobbers. I know they have one. I just haven't got to experience it myself yet. But that's one of the things that we noticed is there was this big push of humans have to be perfect, and if not, I'm going to go jump into AI. But then they get frustrated with AI because I truly don't know that there's any perfect solution. Everything's going to not work at one time or make a mistake. But it's just having that balance and making sure your customers feel like they can still trust you even when you're using it, and not like they're being tricked and not getting an option.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes when I teach, I talk about I'm in the small home service business. You're not competing against, I'm not competing against the other window cleaners in town. I'm competing against Amazon for the customer experience, because everybody's used to going, hey, click, 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 and it's on my doorstep. And so how can we move toward a frictionless or less friction experience for booking? So
especially when you're in like a sales-based business, like if you have, for example, if your pricing is transparent, you already know what you're going to charge. It's not a per unit, or you have to go out and do a big diagnostic for it. How can you make it to where they don't feel like they're being sold to? There's this big concept that you have to go to the door and you have to talk to the person in person and make sure both business owner or both homeowners are there. And at the end of the day, no one really wants to get sold to anymore, right? Yeah. No one likes it. It's not comfortable. And so a lot of people are going that online route because it's easier for us to do it. I don't feel pressure and I can make my own decision on my own time. So you have to be able to enable the customers to have every avenue that works for them for you. You don't segment yourself out. Give yourself every opportunity to schedule the lead.
For sure. All right, Lynn, I've got the next question. I'm coming back to you. So you've been in HVAC, you're in HVAC. Were you in plumbing as well?
I was in plumbing. I sure was. And remodeling.
Okay. And so having helped build and then exit several times, I would love to hear a perspective on built for life and then built to sell with a company.
Ooh, I don't think I don't think they're separate. I think they're the same thing. You build a company with one intent, and that's to build a valuable company. So if a valuable company is what you're building, it doesn't matter what the end goal is. You can exit or you can retain it for a legacy business for your family. But there's no other way, in my opinion, to build a business but to build it valuable. So they're the same to me. It doesn't matter.
Okay. And is your strengths in the company and consulting in building and helping people, are you more of a visionary or more of like an operations, get it done person?
We're actually both. Some of us have different strengths than others. At the end of the day, a visionary, and I'm one, can draw pictures on whiteboards all day long, but if you really don't know how to get it done, it doesn't matter. So it all comes back to brass tacks. And I know that sounds kind of like a two-sided answer, but it's really true. And one of the things that I know that our team is really, really excellent at is we know how the money comes in the front door and goes out the back. So you have to know that. You have to know the processes and the workflows in order to optimize the financial performance of that business, period. And I'm a real stickler on it. My accountants, right now we're going through CFO training with actually a business coach in that space, or in HVAC plumbing space, with the very intent of what we're speaking about. What impacts revenue? What impacts cost of goods sold? What impacts overhead? What impacts ROI, return on assets of assets? And so the interesting part is that the two worlds that we kind of live in, if you don't know your capacity or your potential capacity, and if you don't know that, then how do you know how to buy marketing leads? And if you overbuy marketing leads, how do you know you're not wasting money?
Yeah. So part of a previous discussion, but it's so pertinent, is like I know a lot of small business owners that they don't make a data-driven decision. They just make a
No.
gut decision. And when they start gathering data, they just use it to confirm or justify the decision they already made rather than letting the data, let the math guide you. Take the emotion out, let the math do the work.
Sid, a lot of inquiry will come to us and say, I need help with my accounting. And I always, well, tell me why you think your accounting's wrong. What's wrong with your accounting? Well, I don't know my numbers, or my numbers are a mess, or I've not had visibility to my numbers. So tell me about your job workflow. Tell me about your capacity management. Tell me about your utilization of your technicians. Tell me about your average cost per hour, average cost per job. Well, I don't think that data is right. So if that data is not right, how's accounting right?
Yeah.
Right. And so we are really about the balance of what's operationally impacts the business performance. I always say what we deliver on the accounting side is business performance accounting. Not accrual accounting, not cash accounting, business performance accounting. And
I like that.
I am real committed to that because that's how I managed. And it was very successful for me then. And it's still very successful in what we do at Contractor In Charge. And we've had a lot of success in helping our clients understand that. Some is like pulling teeth, but some of them you finally get it through and they get it and they do very well. They can do very well and they listen. So it's about listening and understand, committing that they're going to, if they don't know, they're going to learn.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So what are generally speaking, when you onboard somebody, what are the areas that are the weakest? So you just went through the performance-based accounting or business performance accounting and hit other metrics that are not P&L. It's not dollar. It's not, ad spend. It's the other metrics. Where do you see, my real question is, where do you see the weakness, but what are the things that are the low hanging fruit that's, God, I'm stumbling with most common low hanging fruit that you just fix a couple of things and people see a big impact, a big improvement?
So we are an industry of throwing people at problems, not processes. So one of the very first things is to look at the utilization of the job roles and skills that you have deployed in your operations. It's not very hard to prove that they're underutilized, but it's sometimes hard to believe that you're only paying them for working 50% of the time. So, and you might say, well, yeah, but I need them there for 40 hours. Do you really?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you think. That's what somebody told you. That's what 8 to 5 on the clock means. That's what the job descriptions are typically part-time, full-time, but do you really need them? So, when I started in the whole outsourcing of call center, for example, it became very realistic to me that you might think you're paying a lot, but if I were to transcribe your real production numbers from an hourly employee into what it really costs you, it costs you probably 40 to 45% more than outsourcing something.
Oh, wow. And then when you centralize the back office, and especially when you're doing it for multiple companies, I mean, you must get an economy of scale and an efficiency, an order of efficiency that you literally can't get.
One of the things that is right. And one of the things that we offer, and I say offer intentionally, is that we standardize much of the processes that we help our clients with versus taking that Sid does it this way and Lynn does it this way and Danielle does it this way. We like to position that we understand that's the way that you've done it, but let me tell you how we can do it.
Yeah.
And so we standardize so that we can streamline operations, therefore keep our costs low, therefore keep our retail prices lower. So we're not pricing for inflation. We really price for efficiency. So my lesson is learn how to price for efficiency, not inflation. So that's one. And I'd like to just then also say probably one of the aha moments usually is that they are not marking their retail rates up right. So they don't mark their hourly rates up properly. And part of it has to do with they don't know how to really understand what their break even is. And they are heavy on people versus process. And they don't, in all due respect to all of them, they don't have time. They don't have the resources. They don't have the wherewithal to go and resource all that. And that's why we have done the approach that we're doing. Let us help you. We want you to hire some of our functions to fire us, right? So it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. So anytime we're working with a client on the consulting side and making advisement, it's to eliminate us. Eliminate your consultant. Your functions may be outsourced. They may be in-house. And by the way, just because we're in the outsource business doesn't mean that we by any means think that you don't need in-house resources. You do. It's just which resource or which roles and responsibilities are best suited for outsourcing compared to those that should be in-house.
Yeah.
So that's our mantra. We're about being completely transparent and being open and honest about where this is going.
Yeah. Well, 10 years in from the time you picked up that table, it says you're founded in 2016, but you said you decided that and jumped in 2015. I was immediately interested if the technology was good enough to support what you do at that time, or is it so much easier to do what you do now because the tech is?
You know what, really, this is a truthful answer. The technology that is technically our industry, which is the contact center world, has always been very robust and dynamic. What we had to do is learn how to use it in this stubborn world that we work in. And so we had to learn how to use it so that we would be effective and also help our clients not get, pissed off at changes.
Yeah.
And so, it was really, but this industry that we're in always been very robust in technology. We, the thing that's interesting, the technology that is available today, whether it's Java or Service Titan or whoever, pick whoever. I don't know that that's really changed. They've added some bells and whistles, but they really have not changed very much. It's still essentially the same workflows, the same operational processes, and so on. They might put bells and whistles on it. Like I know Jobber's got an AI platform that they sell as an add-on now, which I think is interesting. I don't think they should be in that business at all, but that's me. So, but I'm not in the field service management software, and I don't think they should be in the contact center software because it's much more complicated than just having a voice AI.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, one of my key takeaways, I love when you said that most people throw people at problems when it should be a process. So that's going to be my new bumper sticker is throw process at problems, not people.
That's right.
I don't feel like throwing a person at it is going to solve the problem permanently. It might fix it now. It'll stop the bleeding, but it won't prevent it in the future.
Correct.
Well,
Correct.
So first of all, thank you for taking the time to hang out with me. And I'm sorry I was late with my tech issues, but when people come to the huge convention, if they come to your breakout session, what would be what's the expectation that they're going to walk out of? Are they going to be overwhelmed with all the stuff they need to do? Or are you going to move for efficiency and get them a clear path forward?
We are going to have a blended message of technology, which is AI. We want to help them, if they're not familiar, become more acquainted with what AI really is. Don't be mystified with it. We want to talk about, however, the most important thing, how you need to look at your leads process in your business, understand that there are leads before a job is booked, how you convert at a higher rate, and you are able to not just convert at a higher rate for bookings, but you can also sell more. So it's really cost of acquisition of the lead and lifetime value of the customer is really our message.
Okay, great. I will say that when people find out that they could have an AI or even an outsource or another person close better than they do, or like the first time it happened for me, I was like, I was like, oh no, they don't need me anymore. And then I went, wait a second, they don't need me anymore.
Or exactly.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you be just as happy if you had, I'm going to call it a system versus just people versus technology, a system that when your leads called in to inquire about your services, that they could convert that, book that job, and allow you to go and do that job with a smile on your face and not have to worry about whether it was handled properly or if it was not sold properly, etc. And one of our next ventures probably in the next year will be, you want us to sell for you? We'll do that too, Sid.
Yeah, I think, especially for those that are technician at heart, that sounds like heaven. It's like everything's done.
I know.
It's on my calendar. I just
all you got to do is
turn a wrench. Yeah.
All I have to do is go do my job. And by the way, be happy at it, not have to worry about answering a phone in front of a customer. I'm at their job. And oh, by the way, they're representing me and I'm just building my lifestyle business or my business. And I have a peace of mind doing it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, I'm really thankful that you're going to be at the Huge this year and teaching at the breakout session. I look forward to meeting you both there.
You as well. Thank you for having us tonight.
Okay, well, have a wonderful night wherever you're not in Tampa, because it's got to be hot down there.
No, we're both in Michigan right now, so it's not bad here.
Glad we're not in Tampa. Yeah.
Good. Well, have a beautiful evening, and we'll see you in 3 weeks.
Yes, sir.
Thanks so much.
All right. Thanks for your time.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yes.